Finding your voice in the crowd. This one is called Soapbox. But the importance of finding your voice in a crowd, especially in today's society that's filled with so much noise, is almost close to being impossible. You know, that noise is strategically designed to keep us distracted. But distracted from what? And or distracted from whom? Let's go to work. First, let's dive into the invisible soapboxes for a few minutes. If and only if you're able to do this will be life altering. But again, only if you can see, if you can hear, and if you can think outside of the box or whatever that box may be. But this one is called Soapbox, finding your voice in the crowd. You know, the world is, has, and will always be a social experiment. Don't ever forget it. Let it sink in. It is, has, and forever will be a social experiment. But this experiment also turns everyone into a social dilemma. What I mean by social dilemma is it's only invisible when you participate in it. It becomes visible when you separate from it and pay attention to it. If you watched the television show Hunger Games, if you have watched the series Squid Games, we are those numbers. We are those participants. You only become the squid or maintain a hunger if you stop playing the games. Let that sink in. But as blind participants, or as we participate blindly, it locks us into specific genres. And when I say lock us into specific genres, I'm talking about this new age soapbox called social media. It will eventually lock you into a genre. It will lock you into categories. And all of those categories become chambers, especially if you can be contained and fixated and be controlled. You'll end up waking up just like our parents and grandparents. But nobody can bridge the gap. So hopefully, if you stay long enough, you will see me bridging the gap between the old and the new. But those specific genres and those specific categories are chambers of control. And most will never see it, just like the millions before us and the millions after us. They will never see it. Nobody can ever see it. Neither will the millions that follow after us. So I'm going to give you something. If you're in your, well, it doesn't matter because they're still playing now. Before you could ever strategically think about it, the World Wide Web would have already snared us again. From one soap opera of the old to a new soap opera of the new. It's just that you can't see it. Shortly after that, as we've seen in times past, as the world turns, these become the days of our lives. We'll dim or continue ignoring our guiding light, attempting to remain bold and beautiful while destroying the young and the restless. God said there's nothing new under the sun. It's just a season that change. Yet no one or a few ever figure this out. They never figure this rat race out. Never. And if they do, normally it's at their last sprint on their deathbed while they're being wheeled or carted into the general hospital, asking where or what happened to all of my children. That damn soapbox. Well, if we never give our children anything else to look at, they'll repeat what we repeated. We just never stop long enough to realize how long this thing or these things have altered our lives. Well, never mind. I'll get off my soapbox for a little while. I'm just a traveler. I'm just passing through, so you can ignore me. But there was a song back in the 90s by a group called Goody Mob. And the song was called Cell Therapy. At the end of that song, one of the members said, you need to use that tool between your two shoulders. And it's called brain cells. It was never called selling your brain. But we all have a soapbox. But is it worth anything? You will either be the experiment or other people will experiment on you. You either be hungry enough to play the game or the game will play you until you starve. Don't get caught up in the soapbox. Might want to create your own web. I know this will lose a lot of people. It's intended to. It's only there for those who are willing to hear and willing to see. The soapbox. Find your own voice within the crowd. The crowd is there to distract you by making noise.